Hello everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Fallout 4. And here we are. Susan has finally made it. She has infiltrated the Institute and she is really nervous about what she's going to find in here. No, I'm not talking about synths, coursers, whatever else tries to gun her down. She'll deal with those like she's dealt with every other scumbag in the wasteland. With a shotgun blast to the face. She's talking about what she's going to find with regards to her son. Not only that, but how he's going to react to her. If indeed he is here. In addition to finding her son, we've been tasked with 3 other things. 1. Insert a network scanner holotape into the Institute terminal, or into a Institute terminal. And also to locate Dr. Lee and convince her to come back to the Brotherhood. And there's also something to do for Virgil, a favour. He's after some kind of... I can't remember. He's after something from one of the labs. I'm sure Susan will recognise it if she sees it mentioned. But all of those pale in comparison to what her main focus is. If she does any of that other stuff, it'll be a bonus. And it's kind of weird because she kind of wishes Dance was here. It's not very often she shows any signs of nervousness, any signs of apprehension, but for the reasons mentioned, she does right now, and Dance being here would just maybe put her at ease a little bit. Maybe you'd give her words of encouragement. Provide that reassurance that she perhaps needs at this moment in time. But he's back down wherever down is. He's at the airport. Hopefully waiting for us to return with a beaming smile. Emergency relay button. Right, is this a computer terminal we need to use to put the holotape in? Error, signal, validation, access logs, load the holotape. Which one? None of these. Yeah, let's replay a game. Should we play a game on the Institute terminal? No, we shan't. The network scanner. That's the one. Initiate network scan. This could set off a whole host of alarms here. Okay. Eject the holotape. Internal network detected. Oh, we can actually play the tape. Okay, maybe not. I'm expecting for there to be a big shotgun held to the back of Susan's head when she rises from the terminal here. Nope. Okay, so that's one side quest taken care of pretty swiftly. Now what we need to do is find Dr. Lee, find some kind of chemical reagent, I think it was, for Virgil.
Hello.
Huh?
I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
What elevator? Okay. Our presence hasn't gone unnoticed. Step into the elevator when I'm good and ready. Alright. We're good and ready.
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression.
What, the kidnapping kid kind of wrong impression?
Welcome to the Institute.
Oh.
This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground.
So
There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
And? Oh my god. Did you just see that up there? Waterfalls? It was almost as if we'd gone back before the bombs fell. Susan getting more and more impatient now. Where is this voice coming from? Who is this person? He mentions our son. Where is he? No. No. Open this door.
No use. Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Oh god.
Sean? Is that really you?
Who are you?
Yep, this is what she was worried about. He's not going to recognize her. How is she going to convince him?
Sean, it's me. I'm your mom.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, Are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
Sean! Open the door!
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! She's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
You.
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus.
What?
Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are
Emotional?
and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges.
If there's an
Let's
option,
start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
to smack him in the face, Susan would probably smack him in the face.
I could kill you. Right here. Right now.
Yes. Yes, you could. And I would be powerless to stop you.
I want answers, asshole. Now!
Under the circumstances, I will forgive your vulgarity. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been It's good to finally meet you. After all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
What? What? No way.
Bullshit!
Is it? After all the things you've seen and experienced in the Commonwealth? Think about it. In the Vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
No, that can't be right. That can't be right. When Kellogg came into the vault, he looked exactly the same as he did when we killed him. 60 years would have made him look like he would have been dead in 60 years. It just doesn't make sense.
Are you following?
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
So the weird science experiments needed specimens. That's why they took you?
In a manner of speaking. Yes. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
Well, I think so. This is extremely shocking news here. Susan still does not believe this.
I don't believe you. There's no way any of this is true.
I wish there was something to say. I know this isn't what you wanted, but it's the only truth I can offer you.
She's just in a state of shock.
You're my son? Then prove it. Now.
I've already told you how I came to be here. I don't know what further proof I can offer that would convince you. I've shown you my trust. Your weapons haven't been confiscated, and I stand unarmed before you. Please, let's just talk.
Oh, goodness gracious! She was expecting to find a young child. A 10-year-old, fair enough. 12, 15-year-old, fair enough. You know, it was a baby.
I hope you're not too overwhelmed.
He was a... No, I'm not, pal. No, I'm not. Baby, when he was taken from us, 15 years lost. 60 years? How do you comprehend this? Your son is older than you.
This really is a matter of importance.
All right. Let's talk then.
I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
If he really is our son, and I think he probably is, but Susan's going to need some convincing here. It's a good job we didn't have an option to smack him in the face.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
So we get the feeling that Kellogg is probably some kind of either part human, maybe one of them human synths, which is why he might not have changed his appearance after 60 years has passed.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Oh yeah, as if your honeyed words are going to ease Susan's mind. She's going to need a lot of time to comprehend this. A lot of time. And we're not going to say X, because she still doesn't believe this whole affair.
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But, Director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position, obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. What else can I say to ease your mind?
I think I've heard enough for now.
Very well. The Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
What I want? It's my bloody son, some old man.
Maybe. I don't know. This is so much to take in.
I know. And I am sorry. You have been through so much in such a short time. The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
Wow. That's quite an offer. Things are pretty terrible up there. I mean, Susan doesn't really have any major affinity to anybody up there, other than perhaps Dance.
Are you following?
And there's Nick Valentine, I suppose, but Nick was helping her find her son. Potentially now she's found him. Does she have any particular reason to want to necessarily go back up above?
Things are pretty terrible up there.
I've seen it myself. I know. That is why we are so committed to creating a better life for ourselves here. And it's a life that you can now be part of. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Well, she hasn't come all this way to turn her back now, and although she might be hearing what she doesn't want to hear, seeing what she doesn't want to see, the officer in her is telling her, gather the evidence. Listen to everything he has to say, everything he has to show you, see it, and then come to a reasoned conclusion.
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them. And then we'll discuss what comes next.
Holy mackerel! We can't take a seat in this damn armor. Propping herself against the wall here, in a state of absolute shock and horror. Can that really be our son? Obviously, this thing isn't our son. He's being put to sleep with a code word, possibly some kind of a experiment, maybe a human synth, perhaps maybe even based on what Sean was like when he was a child. What's in here? We've got greenery. This is the first bit of greenery Susan's seen since the bombs fell. No blown up cars, no crumbling highways, no dust storms, no radiation. It's very clinical, very scientific, but it's almost like a miracle. Right. Well, out of all of the division leaders that we want to see first, Dr. Lee is one of them. Now, Susan has got a decision. She doesn't know what she's going to do. She said that she's going to listen to this man, embrace the Institute for now, gather intelligence information in order for her to make an informed choice as to whether or not she's going to end up believing if this is really her son, and if it is her son, does she have a duty to follow in his footsteps, to protect him? As ludicrous as it sounds? If she was convinced beyond reasonable doubt that this is her son, what would she do? Would she help him? Would she turn herself over to the Institute? Or would she have an affinity to the Brotherhood? See that bottle over there? I think it's time for a bourbon and a cigarette. A pack of cigarettes. And a whole bottle of bourbon, I think. Okay. We need to get ourselves pulled together here. He said that this is our new home. Well, Sean, do I have a bed? Do I have a room? Do I have a quarters here that I can take my stuff off and gather my thoughts?
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
Why build it to look like you?
We've advanced the technology behind synths to a point where this struck me as an interesting variation. A new angle, if you will. Modeling it after myself seemed only natural, what with the Institute's records and my genetics and physiology. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
What? Yeah, she doesn't know. It's just too much. She's all in a confused state.
This is all... It's too much. I just don't know anymore.
I understand. You've been through quite a lot. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind. In
a way, she wishes that this, if this is a synth, which, well, she does believe it is. She kind of wishes that he was the real Sean. It's weird, isn't it? You go looking for your son, who's a baby, when he was taken from you, and look at that. A completely preserved packet of cigarettes. and a bottle of bourbon with a chair right next to it. It's almost as if they knew Susan was coming. Even more frightening. Yeah, it's if you taken as a baby, and you come here expecting to find a 10-year-old, you find an old man. But at the end of if it's if this old man really is her son, it's still her son. As ludicrous as it sounds, it's still her son. He is still her son, if indeed it is shown. Does it change things? She came to look for her son and she's potentially found him. Get me. I need to find somebody. So, what the hell are we just winding up here? The stairway to heaven?
Oh, there's a clean floor. Are your visual receptors malfunctioning? Can you not see the grime and dust? Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you've been disassembled, we can use your components to make something that's actually useful.
Good grief. Wow, look at this place. It is absolutely humongous. It really is. Absolutely humongous. Right. I know we've only been going for half an hour, but Susan really is going to need some time. Considering that he hasn't clapped us in irons, he's come to us unarmed. We're going to trust him for now. We're going to trust that if we jump out of... Oh, is this a lift? Oh, it is. We're going to trust that if we leave our armour somewhere, it's not going to go walkabouts. So we'll stick it down here for now. While clomping around. Plus, it probably won't make the Institute feel too easy. And just to be safe, we shall take out the fusion core. Although I'm sure they've probably got their own stash of them somewhere. That's better. It's hard to think straight when you're enshrouded in metal. Right. Somewhere up here we saw a packet of cigarettes and a bottle of bourbon. So Susan is going to take some time to ponder on what she's heard. Have a drink, have a smoke, and figure out what the hell she's going to do. Because what a bombshell has been dropped upon her. So until next time, see you soon.